when they started talking about a healing and wellness centered in the downtown east side, we were at the Japanese hall and we're talking about all the problems we're dealing with, you know, we've become a huge commodity for the system. And I put my hand up and I said, I know what'll solve all these problems, a healing and wellness center. But a healing and wellness center how I see it, not how they want us to see it. I believe our medicines are a huge part of our healing and growth. I believe the healing circles contribute to a lot of that, the sweat lodges, the UE piece, everything that signifies our roots. It's finding out who we are first and foremost. That's where the healing starts. When I walk, if I'm having very difficult times, I'll walk on the grass because that brings me comfort. I'll hug a tree. I'm always touching the trees. I give thanks to everything around me that is part of my life, that everything from the sky to the ground, things that live in the ground, things that are planted from it, the water, everything that survives in it, the fire, water, everything that surrounds me, the earth, the sky, the moon. But I'm still learning. I can't say that I'm perfect than anyone else. I'll still walk alongside everybody. And I was given that opportunity downtown to be who I was. And people accepted me for who I was. And many have passed on into the spirit world. So now it's up to me to walk alongside my people through good, bad, and ugly. To give them that space to change, possibly, to look at things differently, you know, to make changes in their lives. There's a lot of stuck people. I call them stuck because we get stuck in a system where they tell us, that's the difference between modern and traditional. They tell us you're addicted. You're addicted to drugs, you're addicted to drinking, you're addicted to pills, you're addicted to all this. I don't believe people can get addicted to something. I believe that alcohol and drugs are just a problem that just covers up the issues. And once you set something in your brain, that's what you start believing. I know this because the way I live, the way they wanted me to be, that perfect little white Indian, so to speak, and I know that. I know what that means. I've been through it. I know what it is. I'm not going to say I'm a know-it-all. I just know my journey.
So what would an Indigenous healing center look like to you?
Oh, so beautiful. It would, for me, it would be out in the woods somewhere. It would be out near the mountains. It would be part of our nature. It would be part of bringing us back to very basics. First, finding yourself, getting to know yourself, sitting in your quietness, in your moments, not being afraid to explore your feelings, to honor your feelings. I think that we have to find ourselves, and using whatever we can that Mother Nature has for us is an important part of finding our roots. The elders went to Ottawa, and we sat down with the Assembly First Nations chiefs, and then we talked about the missing and murdered women, the housing crisis, all that stuff that they should be aware of. And then we approached the Aboriginal Healing Foundation, and they gave us a 3-year pilot project. And I learned a lot of things from that. One, you never put your whole trust in one person because you don't know, although they participate a lot in a lot of the ceremonies and a lot of things, the healing hasn't really started deep inside. And so we lost a couple of places, and but it was a beautiful 3 years where we focused a lot on the culture. We brought, you know, a little healing circle there for the residential school survivors. We brought the beadings. People brought some understanding to what an eagle feather was. The traditional foods, you know, we had a guy who went out hunting and fishing and brought all that stuff back. So that's what we fed the people. And there were so many people coming in. We had women making bannock, and we had a person hooked up to the sweat lodge and bringing them out to the forest and stuff and out to the mountains. And it was a perfect setup, but we had the really bad location. We didn't have any hot water. hot running water, and we didn't have a stove there. It was a small little area. But one thing about it is that the Canadian auto workers were willing to help. They were going to renovate any building that we took over, so we kind of put that in the back burner.
So last question, are you optimistic that this will happen? Can you see this center actually becoming real?
I see a lot of little flaws here and there just by listening to what you're saying. I see a lot of people having to come a long way, and hopefully they'll bring some understanding to how they're thinking, how they're judging, how they're even assumption keeps people from a lot of stuff. And I worked downtown for many years. I've seen assumptions, I've seen beliefs, I've seen labels, I've seen people believing what they heard or what they see rather than thinking on their own and understanding their feelings and understanding what humanity is, understanding what the system has done to our people. I think our people are rising above it now. You know, it doesn't matter where people are on their level of healing and wellness, they're still able to get up and they're still able to rise up, because now's the time to do it. And I think if our people got together, and there's a lot of us connecting across the world, we can pretty well accomplish a lot of things. It's like meeting for the first time. Me as an Indigenous person, you as but building that bridge so that a lot of those labels are removed. I'm gonna bring some new understanding or new meaning to who I am as an Indigenous woman. Yeah, there's a lot. I can see a lot of that happening in this traditional healing and wellness center. Yeah, it can happen.
Our θəytət, ʔəwə. We must build a healing place. Our θəytət, ʔəwə.